September 14, 2007, Doncaster, England. The morning began like any other for the Gosden family. Andrew, a 14-year-old boy known for his intelligence and quiet demeanor, sat at the breakfast table. There was no argument, no slammed doors, no signs of teenage rebellion. He was a strata student with a 100% attendance record, a gifted child who seemed to have the world at his feet. But as the school bell rang that morning, Andrew wasn't in his seat. He had already set in motion a plan that would lead him into the heart of London, and then into a void that has remained black for nearly 2 decades. Welcome to Unsolved Crimes. Today, we explore one of the most baffling and heartbreaking missing person cases in British history. A case where a boy with no digital footprint, no cell phone, and no social media presence simply walked out of a train station and disappeared from the face of the earth. This is the search for Andrew Gosden. Andrew was not your typical teenager. While his peers were beginning to lose themselves in the early days of social media, Andrew lived a life centered on books, video games, and heavy metal music. He was small for his age, deaf in his left ear, and wore strong prescription glasses. He was part of the Young, Gifted and Talented program, placing him in the top 5% of students in the UK. He was a boy who loved the Science Museum, Harry Potter, and bands like Slipknot. But he was also a boy who lived entirely offline. He didn't have an email address. He didn't own a mobile phone. Even his PlayStation Portable, his constant companion, had never once been connected to the internet. In a digital world, Andrew Gosden was a ghost long before he went missing. On that fateful Friday morning, Andrew did something uncharacteristic. He waited for his parents to leave for work, then went back inside his house. He took off his school uniform and placed it in the washing machine. He put on a black Slipknot t-shirt and jeans, grabbed his black satchel covered in band patches, and walked to a nearby ATM. He withdrew £200, nearly all his savings. He then walked to the Doncaster train station and bought a one-way ticket to London King's Cross. When the ticket clerk pointed out that a return ticket was only 50 pence more, Andrew firmly declined. He wasn't planning on coming back that day. At 11:25 a.m., CCTV cameras at King's Cross station captured Andrew walking out of the exit toward Euston Road. He looked calm, purposeful. He had his wallet, his keys, and his PSP. But he hadn't taken his charger. He hadn't taken his passport. He had left £100 of birthday money sitting on his dresser at home. This wasn't the behavior of a boy running away to start a new life. This was someone going somewhere for a specific reason, a reason that he took with him into the London crowd. The tragedy of the Andrew Gosden case is not just in his disappearance, but in the catastrophic failures of the initial investigation. Andrew's school tried to call his parents when he didn't show up, but they dialed the wrong number. By the time Kevin and Glenys Gosden realized their son hadn't been at school all day, the sun was setting. The police weren't notified until 7 p.m. But the most devastating blow came later. The CCTV footage from King's Cross was not reviewed for nearly 3 weeks. By then, the footage from surrounding buses, shops, and the London Underground had been overwritten. The trail was cold before the police even started looking. Where did he go? For years, the theories have circled like vultures. Did he go to a concert? There were no shows that night that fit his musical taste. Did he go to the museums he loved? No one remembered seeing him. Was he lured there by someone he met? This is where the mystery deepens. Because Andrew had no internet presence, he couldn't have been groomed in a chat room. If he was meeting someone, the arrangement had to have been made through a payphone or a physical letter, methods of communication that left no trace. The Gosden family has lived in a state of suspended grief since 2007. Kevin Gosden, Andrew's father, has been the face of a tireless campaign. He has never changed the locks on their front door, just in case Andrew ever comes home and still has his keys. Every year on Andrew's birthday, they place a notice in the newspaper. Every year, they add money to his bank account, hoping to see even a single pound withdrawn. But the account remains untouched, a frozen testament to a life interrupted. In 2021, a glimmer of hope appeared when 2 men in London were arrested on suspicion of kidnapping and human trafficking in connection to the case. For a moment, it felt like the silence might finally be broken. But by 2023, both men were released without charge. The police were confident they had no involvement. The lead, like so many before it, led to a dead end. Today, Andrew Gosden would be 32 years old. Age progression images show a man who looks very different from the skinny boy in the Slipknot shirt, but to his parents, he is still the son who sat at the dinner table the night before he vanished, helping with a jigsaw puzzle, laughing at a comedy on TV. They live with the unbearable weight of a question that has no answer. London is a city of millions, a place where it is easy to get lost. But how does a boy someone so distinct, so loved simply evaporate in broad daylight? This is Unsolved Crimes. The story of Andrew Gosden is a reminder that the most brilliant minds can sometimes be the most vulnerable, and that in the heart of a bustling metropolis, a person can become invisible in the blink of an eye. What do you think happened after Andrew walked out of King's Cross? Did he meet someone he trusted, or did he fall victim to a random encounter? Leave your theories in the comments. We owe it to Andrew to keep looking. Until the next case, stay vigilant.